So I have multiple things going on today, but I wanted to use one of my lives to do a check-in with community. Hold on. Because I feel like I've been having some thoughts and I got a meeting later today. And I have a feeling that the meeting is going to be real interesting. I've been dealing with some things this week and I've been doing my reflective exercises. And with everything that I've been experiencing, hey, Samantha. So with everything that I've been experiencing, I've been feeling like I need to process a little bit I won't so that I won't be carrying a whole bunch of stuff around. So I know that this is a random live, so I'm not expecting a whole bunch of people to come on the live. And like I said, I'm not gonna be on here long because I really, honestly, legit can't stay on here for an hour because I have a meeting at 4 o'clock. But I was thinking about how white supremacy sustains itself. I was thinking about the ways in which we support white supremacy, how we support racial supremacy. And one of the things that, has been coming up for me all week, and I've been seeing this happen just in different instances, is that, and I noticed this in deeply melanated people or melanin rich people, people that we call black or African American or whatever label society puts on us. But a lot of times, I think we've lost the sense of how community works, like how to be in community with one another. Like a lot of us, we talk about community, like we really know what community is, like we really understand what community is, but a lot of us don't really understand what community is. Like literally, we are such a cliquish society, and cliquish is not the ways of our ancestors who were tribal and who were trying to foster, a rich culture that welcomed many and made room for many. We are a cliquish. We live in a cliquish society, a very cliquish society, and so we have to understand that when you think about a puzzle, when you're putting a puzzle together, some parts may connect with, hey Fatima, how you doing, high priestess? When you're putting a puzzle together, there are pieces that only fit with one piece, but that piece connects to another piece. So I may be cool with somebody that you're not cool with. I may I may work well with somebody that you don't work well with, that you don't fit with. But that is helping me so that I could help you. Like like we'll say, "Oh, you mess with them." Well, I and you can be loyal to both of us. Like it's people who tell me all the time, "I like T.S. Madison and I like you." I'm not going to get mad at you and not deal with you because you like her. Because if that person gives you something that makes you feel whole and makes you feel good about yourself and is healing for you and therapeutic for you, then why would I say, "Oh no, you like them, like no, because we are a part of a great big puzzle. And some pieces fit together and some pieces don't. But your sister, your brother, your sibling may fit with that piece and may be the bridge that somehow connects y'all when the time is right." And I feel like that's the thing that white supremacy has done to us. It has caused us to forget how community works. It has caused us to forget how complex community is. Or if I don't get along with you, you talk to her, you cool with her, I'm not gonna be around you. Oh, you cool with him, you mess with him, I don't talk to you. Like we don't all have to have the same relationships with people. And my relationship with this person is not meant for you to understand. That's just like none of us could ever fathom the complexity of the divine. You have your relationship with God. I say God, goddess. You have your relationship with the creator. I have my relationship with the creator. But we all play a part. We're all connected. We all are valid. All of our connections are valid. And so the thing that troubles me most with people who look like me is that we have lost the idea of how community works. And this leaves us at the hand of institutions, systems. It weakens us. It weakens us. Nobody is questioning why it's more melanin rich people on the planet. It's more people with melanin on the planet, but yet we're never, as a collective, it's only a few of us that are actually getting somewhere. And it's because they understand how the game goes. They understand how this puzzle works. And the rest of us, we're getting false information and propaganda that's got us around here clicked up. Got us around here burning bridges and cutting people off and cutting people out of our life and not dealing with certain people because of who they deal with. As long as they're not betraying you, as long as they're not the type of friend or not the type of community member that's going back and gossiping about you and dragging about you and putting you down, like, I don't know. I guess it's because we've lost our integrity as a people. Like, you can't really trust nobody because everybody integrity is just so questionable at this point. Your video hugging your inner child made me burst into tears this morning. You are so beautiful. Child, I cried with that one. I made me a little snack. So I'm gonna eat the snack while I'm talking. This is vegetarian, so it is some vegetarian chili on like this little toast. Then I got some mustard on the top, some relish. You see some onions and like bell peppers. And then I put a little A1 sauce because I like a little A1 sauce. And it's like a little bitty piece of cheese up in here. It's like a little bitty piece of cheese up in here. But yeah, I wanna eat my little snack while we talking. Hold on, wait. Well, it ain't my snack. It's actually dinner, and I don't want it to get cold, too cold while I'm running my mail. Oh, mm, it's so good. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of healing work lately. And you know what else I'm healing from? Fatima, you need to send me your email. You ain't got no other social media. Because I want you to be able to make it to at least one Zoom call a month. But you know what I'm really healing from? What's really working on me right now? So I watched Karina, I'm getting ready to watch The Help again, but I want to watch The Help again today. But I watched Karina, and I watched Karina with Whoopi Goldberg, and I watched Carla's Heart. And you know what I'm healing from? Oh, thank you. Let me screenshot that. Child, I gotta go to the doctor on Thursday. This coochie getting on my nerves, but it's not in pain like it used to be. I'm not miserable. I'm okay. This bitch just wet as fuck. Bitch always wet. But but you know what I'm healing from? I'm healing from. Oh, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Thank you, God, guys. It's a big girl within, honey. It's a big girl in there. It's a girl that love to eat up in there, baby. But so Samantha, you see me over here getting joy, honey. You bring me joy. Mm. Oh my. Oh my. Yeah, so I haven't had alcohol since Sunday. I haven't had weed since Sunday. And I haven't had meat since Sunday. So I'm giving myself some grace, like a little cheese, maybe an egg or something. Mm. That don't make no sense. See, the thing with vegan food is you have to season it good. That is so good. Let me get a paper towel. I'll be right back. Yeah, vegan food is all about seasoning. But what I'm healing from when it comes to the perception of mammy, I don't know. I go on and off. Like when I do my fast, I do vegan. When I'm not fasting, I eat meat. So like I have that's how I maintain my weight. Like I go on and off. Like I switch my diet up a lot. So I might be eating meat 1 week and then I might not eat it for 2 weeks. And then I do a lot of different diets. Water just tastes better out of bottle. I don't like what I pour it out of the plastic into glass because water just tastes better to me out of a bottle. I don't like drinking water out of plastic. But It's like something about when it go in a bottle make it taste different. I don't know what it is, but it's just something about when it go in a bottle and make it taste different. But so I was getting back to the healing from the mammy thing, because I'm doing this exercise, and one of the exercise is what is one of the things that you regret, one of the things that you resent, and shout out to Miss Ahuru Monroe. We did a session Sunday, and it brought up a lot of things for me. And so one of the exercises that I have to do is to list one of my regrets. And one of my regrets is how I see, um, how I see, well, not how I see, but how this world sees black matriarchs, how black matriarchs are viewed through a patriarchal white supremacist lens. That is one of the things I resent. And I think I'm being called to heal from, because I've been looking at black matriarchal figures or melanin rich matriarchal figures through a white supremacist lens, through a patriarchal white supremacist lens. Like, I've literally been looking at uh, matriarchal figures through that lens, which is why I be like calling them mammies and saying it in a negative way and coming for them, when honestly and truly we're not looking at the whole picture. Like, are they mammies, or are they just like, are all of it? Because I think some of them be doing some mammy stuff. Like, we not finna act like some of it don't be, some cooning. Like, we just not finna erase the possibility that it could be some cooning and pick me at play. Like, we not about to do that. But in playing the whole tape, as we do as Laylim Layler beings, as purple beings, as whole beings, I have to ask myself, does this black or this melanin rich matriarchal being just have a greater capacity to show compassion? And maybe that's being manipulated. Maybe that's being taken advantage of. But maybe that being knows who they are celestially. Maybe that being is not concerned about how this world sees them, as long as they're doing what's in their heart and their soul to do. And so a lot of times I look at what writers are telling in stories, and I feed off of that without really playing the whole tape. Because the most important thing that I should be taking from seeing melanin rich matriarchal figures um in connection with Caucasian children or Caucasian babies is that they're showing us that that is the original mama, that is the mama of all of us. Like, they try to diminish it by making them play roles like the maid, the housekeeper, the help, but they gotta tell the truth. They gotta tell the truth for their own survival, because so many deeply melanated, melanin rich matriarchal figures have been necessary to come into their homes and regulate their homes and bring balance to their homes and teach their women how to mother, how to be matriarchs, how to tap into their maternal energy. And so they have to tell us the story in a way that is demeaning, so that we don't get too full of ourselves, so that we don't because they know a lot of us aren't gonna see through. We're not going to play the whole tape, and that's something that I have to admit that I have not been playing the whole tape in that regard. I'm always, preaching to play the whole tape and talking about playing the whole tape. My grandmother, and I might get a little emotional when I say this. My grandmother was a custodian. My grandmother was a custodian for like 20 something years, and before that, she was a maid. And because I went to a magnet school called Columbus Elementary when I was little, and I remember the little white children used to run up to my grandmother when they had bobos, when something was wrong. They loved my grandmother. I mean, they loved my grandmother. When my grandmother came on the yard, she had so many white children, little white children. Hey, Miss Eula May. Hey, Miss Clark. Hey, da da da. Just running up on her. Just loved her. Just crazy about her. Even the woman who worked with her at work, the white woman who worked with her, loved her, like, because she was such a nurturing figure. She was such a maternal figure. She was so just tapped into that divine feminine, just tapped into that matriarchal energy, and they were drawn to it. And it was a healing space. It was a safe space. And so a lot of times when we're looking at it through a patriarchal white supremacist lens, they have to diminish it because they don't want us to realize what's happening. It's like they say, they always gonna tell you the truth. They have to tell you the truth. It's some truth in the Bible. It's some truth in the stories that we see on television. It's some truth in the things that we get in mainstream. But these stories are always regulated in a way that creates propaganda, that creates division, that makes some of us jaded, some of us bitter, because they're gonna give us the bare minimum. They gonna give us the bare minimum. But a lot of times we look down on some melanin rich matriarchal figures for having the capacity to love in a way that only they can. And I think through my relationship with my son, because my son is Caucasian, the ancestors are helping me to heal and helping me to understand this. Because I never would have thought that my first chosen son in the queer community would have been Caucasian. Never would have thought it. And I think it's because I'm finally in a space where I'm able to really, really tap into that type of love, that type of nurturing, like to be able to see myself in someone who looks nothing like me, to be able to feel a connection in someone who looks nothing like me. And I think that our grandmothers and our great grandmothers and our great great grandmothers, they've been was tapped in. A lot of them been was tapped in, and society creates this narrative of them being, some of them being jaded, some of them being pick me's, some of them just being, yes sir, I's getting to it, sir, I's getting to it, boss, I's getting right on it, boss. But the one thing that I liked was when I was watching not Karina, Karina. Well, I liked the Karina too because she didn't take no shit either. But Clara's heart, Whoopi was standing on business. Whoopi wasn't just letting them play in her face. Whoopi was standing on business. And I was respecting it. Whoopi was standing on business. It absolutely is being formed, harvested, and extracted. You see, in every election, they use black women as a conduit, pit bull to aid and help everybody else but herself. Mmm. Columbus Elementary, your matriarch. Vampires raising, loving your future oppressors, days of future past. And I feel like I feel like there has to come a time where we look at how conditioned so many of them have been. And the hard part for me is that a lot of them don't want to continue on that route, but so many of them are afraid to lose the illusion of privilege because they depend on family and they depend on each other. And I think that that's something that they learned from our ancestors, but they kept it. And I think that we've gotten so I think that a lot of melanin rich people have gotten so cocky and confident in our divine connection and in our capability. A lot of times we've become so arrogant to the idea that, hey, Zania, we've become so arrogant to the idea of needing one another. And that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Like a lot of us, because we innately know we're connected to something, we're in tune with something, even though we may not fully understand the connection, we just feel it intuitively, which gives a lot of us like this ego and this arrogance and this confidence that helps us to get things done, to achieve at a high rate, to accomplish a lot of things. And I think because we're capable of doing this, we started to take community for granted. But I don't think that Caucasian people, people who have a lot less melanin, are able to do that. I don't think that they can take that for granted. Because, even vampires, they typically they typically have a lot of they be together. Like sometimes you'll see a movie where it be one vampire by itself looking for others, but they're always looking for a companion or looking for somebody to be with them. Like they really don't want to be alone. They really need some type of assistance, a ghoul, somebody, a minion, something. They need some type of support. And so I think that a lot of us, we've gotten so cocky and confident as melanin rich people that we don't feel like we need the support. What is that? Cabbagery. Cabbagery. How was your healing process going, by the way? But yeah, I feel like hopefully we can raise up a community of melanin rich people who can heal collectively, like heal amongst ourselves, revisit, um, and restructure, like sit down and have conversations and communicate, not just assume what community is or assume what community should look like or read from some script that was given to us by our oppressors, but to really, really sit down and talk about and develop language and conversations that speak to the dynamics of community, the fluidity of community, what community should look like. And I think if we could start to model that, and if we could start to do that, I think that we could model something for less melanated beings who are really trying to break out of the prison, that the gilded cage that their ancestors have created for them. Because I do think that there are some of them who want to escape the gilded cage, but why would they run over by us when most of us are trying to mimic them? The rest of us don't give a fuck, and ain't none of us really trying to heal. And we're supposed to be the descendants of the original or aborigines indigenous people. And and so this is what we know from the cinema. This is what we know from what we watch in the content. And when dealing with the president of the United States, they've had a black butler to serve as like a base patriarchal energy. Hey, Aaron, they've had a black butler to serve in the White House for decades, and that was a base, like paternal energy, like a humble father, if you will, like a humble father figure, who loves to serve and care for his family, and channeling that matriarchal energy as well. In a lot of homes for a long time, in order to set things the way that they are, they use a lot of our matriarchal energy, a lot of our maternal energy, a lot of that melanin rich maternal energy to set the stage. And so we poured so much into them. We poured so much into them that we didn't have anything left for ourselves. By the time the butlers and the and the workers and the help and the maids and the nannies, for generations they gave so much to that community as a means to sustain us monetarily, as a means to sustain us financially, that when they got home, the children was latchkey. They were taken for granted that their children were melanated and that their children were built for certain things that our less melanated siblings could handle. But I think now it's time to revisit that. And I think it's time to heal from that. And I think it's time to revisit what it looks like showing up for each other, so that we can undo what white supremacy has done and not make the same mistake by trying to do white supremacy in blackface, by trying to do patriarchy with a vagina, or calling yourself mother, but really you doing the same thing that the patriarch was doing. And so I think it's time for us as deeply melanated people and melanin rich people to collectively heal, to say, okay, we've given so much to this system. We've given so much. Because another thing that upsets me about this system, and I talked about it, is that how many melanin rich people have bought into the American dream, which is rooted in white supremacy. Like, we have to have that conversation. Like, collectively as melanin rich people, we have to have the conversation where we take accountability and say how so many of us have bought into a system that is rooted in white supremacy. How many of us have bought into a system that is invested in the maintenance and the sustainability of white supremacy? And what's even worse is that the whiteness that we're lifting up, because ultimately it all comes from the deep. It all comes from deeply melanated people. But the whiteness that we've chosen to lift up is so damn corrupted. The whiteness that we've chosen to center is corrupt. I get it. Esoterically, cosmically, we could say there are mutations, there are deformities. We could say they ain't got no souls, but ultimately, our ancestors created them. And so, if we don't heal ourselves, how can we model that for them? Or how can we create the space for that correction? Instead, we praise it, we vote for it, we support it, we sow into it, and we continue to buy into it and invest in it. If nothing changes, nothing changes. The archetype of the butler was a nod to the fall of those of the to the fall when those slaves were brought with the legion of Moorish European to make to take from us. They would kill everyone and leave the highest ranking officer. Mm. And they would make him a servant, aka prisoner of war, to become the butler, the housekeeper. Look at Stephen in Django Unchained. He was the true owner and operator of the plantation. He was black and behind, black hand behind, newly. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and so you think he was like a Moor, or do you think he was like an Indian? Because they said I found out. Well, I mean, somebody confirmed from me because I had heard this before that the Indians had slaves, like some of the Indian nations had slaves. And I've always believed some of the indigenous beings that were already here had slaves. And I've always believed that it was definitely some handshaking going on behind the scenes, because how could all of this had ever come into place? Oh. Because I'm like, how could all of this have come into place if it wasn't some Indians that was ready for a different opportunity? Baby, some of them black men, could you imagine, um, before the colonizers came, this was probably more a matriarchal society. Turtle Island probably was being more thoughtful of women, more thoughtful of beings who identify with womanhood and motherhood. And just knowing how some men are, I could see the spirit of envy, the spirit of jealousy coming into them. And imagine um our less melanated siblings coming over here on boats And it's a proven fact that the Europeans were sending undesirable females over to America. They were sending a lot of their undesirables over here to America. The ones that were known for being sex workers or harlots, the ones that didn't have any money, like they were sending their undesirable women over here. There was some of the first ones to come over here. And so when you think about that, they were sending their undesirable women over here, and we never really unpack what that looks like when you got young, virile males full of testosterone, eating healthy, living off the land, and they see something they ain't never seen before. They see something pale and white, and it's exotic, and it got breasts, and it got hips, and they more curious about it because it's all covered up. Boobs is pushed up, but everything else all covered up, and so they're curious about what's under all them clothes. Very curious about what's under. Hey, Purple Prodigy. They're very curious about what's under all of them clothes when those beings come over. And so I think that some of those indigenous, some of those black indigenous folk fell in love with some of those women. We know they didn't have no inhibitions. We know that they didn't have any sexual inhibitions. We know that they didn't mind doing it because a lot of them was uneligible to be married because of the shenanigans they was pulling off over there in Europe. So they came over there and they wasn't exactly under the king's thumb. They had a little bit more freedom, and they was running up on these big old strapping indigenous bucks who was ready to risk it all. And I think that idea that black men or indigenous men are more likely to date outside of their race stems back to hey, and you have to understand that these European women, although they are more sexually liberated, they're still coming from a very patriarchal society where men have more power. You may have a queen who is sitting on the throne, but the queen has the answer to all these men. All of these men is around the queen telling the queen what to do. And so in a way, Europe, even though it has had females or beings who identify with womanhood to sit on the throne, it was very much an oppressive situation still for women. And so they come over there, and this is Turtle Island being probably more a matriarchal society. That's why we never really talk about indigenous history. If you notice, we never really dig into, like, we get the made up Native American history, but we never get the stories about deeply melanated indigenous history on Turtle Island. And I think the reason why we never get those stories is because it was more of a matriarchal society. And I've read stories where they said that the men would meet in the woods. And now they would meet in the woods to discuss how they were going to betray the matriarch. Yeah, I'm only gonna be live for like about 10 more minutes though, because I got a meeting at 4 o'clock. You just woke up from a nap. I'm glad you made it on though. I don't. That's probably her now. I'm not like, yeah, go ahead and delete them. Cause I think I think that person just wants me to mention them in this live so that they can have something to post on their channel. I think they just want to have something to post on their channel because I did say for people who were watching that I would do two more lives before my birthday. So this is one of those lives. And then I have another live left to do before my birthday. So this is one of them. I understand that the desperation is real. And I think that the person just wants me to acknowledge them. You know, they reached out and they sent the email telling me, you don't have to stop going live and my decision to not do live videos has nothing to do with one person in particular. It is a combination of a whole bunch of things. There's not one person on the internet that has that much pull to make me stop doing lives. This is not about one person. This is about me building. This is about Lay Lim Lay Lur. This is about the Purple Nation going to the next level. That we're not able to achieve that. I'm literally holding back on this live, and I have to learn how not to share so much. I've also been practicing throughout the week, not watching certain content, not engaging with certain content, so that when I come on here, I won't feel tempted to talk about certain things because I have not been watching it. Hey, oh, you got to step on for a second. 100% pure love. Yeah, I'm gonna have to end the live in about 7 or 8 minutes because I got a group. But yeah, my decision to stop doing lives is about celebrating my community, supporting the ones who have supported me by creating a safe space for us to gather and build. I'm going to still do I'm going to still do videos. I'm going to still do that type of content. But after my birthday, I won't be doing any live videos. Yeah, at least not until I've had time to detach from what's going on. So, at the very least, there'll be no more live videos until 2026. So, it'll definitely be the last live video this year. It'll definitely my birthday video will definitely be the last live video this year. Um, because I do need some time to detach from the matrix in that way, feeling the need to entertain certain conversations, to lend my energy to certain things. It's only because I've been doing so much work that I was able to get on here today and I was able to stay focused on what I wanted to talk about. And it's because it's been this candy is sticky. And it's because that has been affecting me directly. I like to fill up my glass, honey. I told y'all I like my water in the glass, honey. So I let it sit in the glass and get reset in the glass, honey. But yeah, so because that's been affecting me through the week, like I've had multiple people that I'm in community, to say little things that had me like, baby, why you like we as a people, we as black people, we're so fragile when it comes to people dealing with people that we may not have the capacity for. Like, and I think when we heal, we'll be like our ancestors. We'll be able to set boundaries and we'll be able to communicate what we need out of the relationship without feeling like we got to say, hey, look, if you're going to deal with this person, then I'm not dealing with you. Because again, as I said in the beginning of the video, those pieces may fit together in this grand puzzle of life. Your piece may fit with the piece may fit with the other side, and there may be a piece over here on the other side that fits perfectly with them. And maybe you don't fit anything on that side, but your connection with that person keeps you connected to everything that's over there. And we have to understand that. Like I don't have to I don't you don't have to fuck with only the people I fuck with as long as we have boundaries. Because guess what? In a puzzle, when the pieces are laid how they should go, you ain't never got to worry about the pieces that's over there coming over here. You ain't when the pieces is laid how they supposed to go. You ain't never got to worry about no piece that's over there or no piece that's over there or no piece that's way back there being around the pieces over here. Everybody in their place. Everybody in their position. When the pieces is laid how they supposed to go, you ain't got to worry about somebody that you don't fuck with being in your space because that piece go over there. That piece that piece fit right there. That piece don't fit over here. If you detach to the mess, I'm gonna have to detach. Birthday week coming up. We ain't got time for peasant buffoonery. Exactly, exactly. Pluck, pluck, pluck. I'm gathering the girls in their 100% pure love. Put the brats in the playroom. Picasso face just desperately want a crumb of attention. And it was such a gag, like literally you're creating different accounts just for someone to say your name so that so that you can make a video. Like, come on. Come on. Like, you literally created another account today, brought up your own name, said your own name, in hopes that I would say it so you could make a video and share the clip of me talking about you. Anadia said, commenting under her own videos from a troll account is insanity. Girl, oh my goodness. Commenting under her own videos from a troll account is absolute insanity. And I'm just like, I'm gonna leave some closing thoughts because I have to wrap up. I love y'all so much. So I'm gonna try to wait and hold off cause I'm probably gonna like just do a recorded video for my birthday, and then I'll do a recorded video for my birthday, and I will probably go live maybe close to midnight, so that I could turn 48 live. So I'll probably stay up late. So if y'all want to bring in my birthday with me, that will probably be the video. I'll probably go live like around 11 o'clock. Ooh, that'll be cute because it'll be your birthday going into my birthday. It'll be your birthday going into my birthday, Prodigy. So yeah, I might go live around 10 o'clock on your birthday, 10:30 on your birthday, and then bring in my birthday. And that'll be how we do the live. There's TS celebration. So that'll be probably how we do it. Bring in. So that'll be the next one. It's literally what, 8 days, 7 days for yours, 8 days for mine. So yeah, that'll be my next and my last live for 2026. I'm going to be getting in contact with all of you via email this weekend, so we can start talking about what the space is going to look like. To hear some of your ideas about shaping the space, what the school is gonna look like. But I'll probably be sending y'all some emails out this weekend. I have everybody email now. I just got the priestess email today. Um, um, I'm still waiting on S Child's information, Purple Goddess information. I got 100% pure love. I know how to get in contact with Anandia. So we just gotta get S Child. We gotta get S Child information. Once I get once I get a message from S Child, then I have all of the moderators information, and we can start moving forward with like the email chain. I love y'all so much, and I'm so mad that this time went so fast. Oh my goodness, it went so fast. But I got a meeting I gotta go to. I love y'all. Watch the playback, and if you have some thoughts, because I was talking about some deep stuff today. If you have some thoughts, you know what I'm saying, leave them in the comment section. To add to the dialogue. And I just want to take a real quick second to like thank everybody who has been engaging with me on some of my more controversial content. I did a video about not voting, about why I didn't vote. I did a video about why I didn't vote. I did a video about black people not being able to be indigenous, and the comments were so respectful, so nice. A lot of people engaged very respectfully. Only person that I got a negative comment from lately was somebody up under the straw video about why I didn't watch Straw. Like somebody made a negative comment, but even that exchange ended well. And so I want to just give a shout out to like the Purple community, the Purple Nation, the new subscribers, how y'all are finding the content and respectfully engaging. I definitely don't have a, for all the people who think that I have a problem with people disagreeing with me and who try to spread that rumor that I like yes people around me. If you look in the comment section of those videos, you see me respectfully disagreeing with people. Now, if I have a relationship with you where you could call me on the phone or you can jump in my inbox, or if you don't, because it's if you don't understand something, if you need clarity. And I had an exchange recently with a young lady who I felt like if you needed clarity, you could have asked me rather than just assuming. Because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And with all the content that I put out, calling out sex changes, like I've called out Angelica Ross, she's a sex change. I've called out Hope Giselle multiple times, and she's a sex change. So this idea that I'm pitting sex changes against pre-op girls is just a reach for attention to make yourself look like you've unearthed some secret trove of knowledge when it's not that. It's not that. If it was, I think some girls are upset about the fact that there are differences, and I am one who is not ashamed to acknowledge them or talk about them. I think any beings who have laid on the table and medically transitioned and have been put to sleep at the risk of not waking up, they deserve respect for what they went through. Because without a medically transitioned community, the community that's not medically transitioned would not even be taken seriously. And that's just facts. We live in a shallow, superficial, visual reality that demands assimilation. And thank goodness for those of us who were able to physically assimilate without losing ourselves to the point to where we became delusional and was trying to become a halfling and be one of them. And I think that it intimidates beings who have not laid on the table. And they feel like they have to diminish your experience in order to validate theirs. And that is unacceptable on this platform. I love all trans people, pre-op, post-op, or non-op. But just like soldiers in war, when you done laid on that table for this, when you done gave your 20 pounds of flesh, when you done put skin in the game, that is a Purple Heart. That is a badge of honor. That is why my thing is Purple Hearts. Because when you have made that type of sacrifice and you've invested in that way, that deserves respect. Without the chopped up girls, there would be no community. Right. Because the halflings wouldn't respect it. They need to acknowledge the whole tape instead of selectively reacting to parts of the video that benefit their agenda of chaos and confusion. You better say that. Wrist about to be snapped in half from such a reach. Mm, mm, mm. Well, let me get off this live because I'm already 13 minutes late for the meeting and I know it's an important one. I love y'all and I will check in with y'all. Once I reach out to S Child, hopefully S Child will see this video And remember to contact me via email. Again, my email is KINEENMAFA, the number 4 at gmail.com. If you are trying to troll, you will be blocked. You will be spammed and reported. KINEENMAFA, number 4 at gmail.com. I love y'all. Down by the now that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning. Iangani, Iyanko, Kalukalo, which means I am a child of God Goddess. And if I am, you know you are. Thank you so much, warrior priestess. Child, I had got the priestess and the warrior queen confused, baby. That's how you know our worlds is intertwined. But we had the warrior queen on the live today. We had the purple prodigy on the live today. And we had the priestess on the live today. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all and I am looking forward to building. Thank you for the happy the community wishes. Oh yes, and for the pride wishes. And yeah, a special shout out to Aaron who had passed through here for a minute, and Zanya, and T.S. Samantha. Love y'all. Y'all have a beautiful day. Talk to y'all later. And you don't have to be filthy rich to what? Stand on business. Later. I'm grateful for y'all beautiful essence and yes, pure love. All right, y'all.